You're in the herd. In the herd.
With Colin Cowherd.
On ESPN Radio and ESPNRadio.com.
Today's guests on the herd appear via the GM OnStar hotline. OnStar turn-by-turn navigation. Push a button and it downloads directions to your vehicle. Standard on the 2008 Chevy Malibu. Learn more at OnStar.com. Because I live in Connecticut, I listen to occasionally New York sports talk radio. It's quite a treat. And they just are calling for Eric Mangini's head for the New York Jets. They want Bill Cowher in. And I think today, I'm not going to defend Eric Mangini, but I think today's motto has been perspective. Let's just add some perspective here before we call for Mangini's head. You know, it's funny, New Yorkers are the first people to look down at Southerners not being sophisticated. You've never heard more reactionary callers on sports talk radio than New York sports fans. They overreact to everything. Eric Mangini takes over the Jets in 2006. The previous year, they were 4-12. So he takes over a garbage franchise coming off a horrible season. His first year, he goes 10-6. Then they have massive quarterback drama and issues. They drop down to 4-12. Once they get those solved, he's back to 9-6. So in fairness, when he's had a healthy quarterback, the guy wins about 70% of his games. By the way, they are now 9-6 heading into the final weekend. If they win, they're 10-6. So he'll go 10-6 twice if he wins this Sunday when he's got legitimate quarterback help. And can I ask a question? Are the Jets any better than that? Would anybody do better than that with the Jets personnel? I don't know if you paid attention. The AFC's got a bunch of really good teams. The Ravens, Pittsburgh, the Colts, Tennessee, New England, Miami. Frankly, 9-7 is exactly what we predicted the Jets to be. On this show, you can find the tape if I'll bet anybody any money. I said they're a 8-8, 9-7 team. That with Favre. That's their personnel. But Colin, they were 8-3. Oh, do your homework. It was built on a mirage. Go look who they beat. They were 8-3. Let's go look at their wins. They beat a Dolphins team first week of the year, brand new coaching staff. Let's be honest, the Dolphins have gotten better every week. First week of the year, Jets got a young coaching staff coaching their first game. Then they beat Arizona at home, who hasn't won a game in the Eastern time zone. Then they beat Cincinnati at home, Kansas City at home, St. Louis at home, Buffalo at home. It was a mirage. Everybody is looking at the Jets. And you Jet fans built this false premise, this false hope. They built their season on 2 wins. Okay, most of their wins are over junk teams or the Dolphins in the first game with a new staff. The 2 wins that everybody bought into the Jets. Let's go back to the 2 wins where everybody bought the Jets. We didn't, but the nation did. They beat New England at New England. Oh, really? On a sunny day, the injury-riddled Patriots, with a mess in their secondary, using a quarterback who'd never taken a pro snap, they beat him in overtime. That's a revolutionary, transcendent win. Brett Favre, Hall of Famer, picked apart an injury-riddled Patriot defense. And in overtime, in a game that could have gone either way, won. Then, and by the way, the Bengals are on a 2-game winning streak. But before you get too crazy, the Raiders, and this is what's amazing. So most of the Jets' wins have been over the worst teams in the league at home. They beat New England at New England. Whoopee. And New England's been blown out like 3 times this year. The other win, the transcendent win where the rest of the NFL fell for them, is a win over the Titans in Tennessee. Folks, it's the NFL. The Raiders beat the Broncos in Denver. The Texans beat the Titans. The Redskins went to Dallas and hammered the Cowboys physically. Anybody can beat anybody. It doesn't mean they're great. The Jets aren't a great team. They don't have great personnel. They've got 1 or 2 star players, but very little depth beyond that. If they win Sunday, they're 10-6. That's what they are. This is not a great team with great personnel. This is not the Steelers or the Colts or the Titans or the Giants. This isn't even the Cowboys. This is not a great football team. They're 9-6. Ooh, they beat Tennessee. The Texans beat Tennessee. Cleveland beat the New York Giants. Kansas City beat the Chargers. It happens. Oakland beat Denver in Denver. The Texans beat the Titans. The New York media, desperate for a story, I guess, with the beleaguered Jets, embrace this. They were never that good. Most of their wins are over the dregs of the NFL. And one of their 2, quote, impressive wins, the Patriots, is really not that impressive because at the time they were an injury-riddled mess. It's just the idea, when Mangini's had solid quarterback play, he went 10-6, and this year could go 10-6. And he should be fired. Yeah, go ask the Chargers about firing a coach with a winning record. How'd that work out? Now, is there any excuse for the effort they gave Sunday? No, it was lousy. But the Titans lost at home to the Jets. They had a lousy game. The Cowboys lost at home to the Redskins. That was a lousy game. Ravens have had a lousy game. The Giants lost to Cleveland. They had a lousy game. Yeah, the Jets played a lousy game. But if they win Sunday, they're 10-6. Look around the AFC. You're telling me they're underachieving? Really? Seriously? You think at 10-6 for the win Sunday, they're underachieving? Shake yourself. I mean, everybody has lousy games. The Patriots were the first team in 30 years to have an undefeated regular season. Everybody has a rotten apple. They had their worst game of the season.